Well, Steve Cohen knew he was being investigated by the feds, but that's not always the case. Take the recent audits by the Internal Revenue Service that targeted conservative-sounding groups for extra scrutiny. Now many taxpayers are worrying about what flags they may be sending to auditors. Jackie DeAngelis has more on how you may be a target for the IRS and not even know it.
If you're one of the 1 in 100 Americans who's been audited, you know it can be painful. But what you don't know is that the IRS is using new tactics to zone in on tax evasion.
I think that, everyone is concerned about the IRS.
I'm honest about everything, so I don't worry about it too much.
The good news is that there are some things you can avoid doing so you don't become a statistic. First, don't go bragging on social media about non-payment or underpayment of taxes. Sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how many people do it. Second, if you're buying or selling something online, don't exaggerate and declare a different value on your tax return. They could easily find the discrepancy. Consider information posted online to be public. There's no reason to think that the IRS isn't poking around on the web. This was always known to people in the tax community that the IRS, like everybody else in the 21st century, was monitoring online, says Edward Zielinski, a law professor at Cardozo Law School. Third, do not claim non-cash deductions on your tax return that aren't reasonable. Things like cars and clothes. If the amounts seem too high, the IRS will take notice.
And lastly, for those of you who are self-employed or work in cash businesses, know that the IRS is likely watching you a little more carefully. Don't file information that's not going to match up with what others file about you. Yes, they do cross-check.
Keep all the receipts and just don't overdo it. I mean, don't try to make huge deductions because it's going to trigger audit.
The IRS's new practices are raising some eyebrows, especially in light of its most recent scandal over targeting conservative groups with excessive scrutiny. Zielinski says that the agency is so secretive about what is going on that it really erodes public confidence. Meantime, wealthy taxpayers are also a target. That's because the amount recovered by the IRS is greater if any issues are found. According to IRS data, taxpayers making $1 million or more are 12 times more likely than the rest of the general population to face an audit. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Jackie DeAngelis.